Crimson Desert, a game that promised the world and delivered a gilded cage. We have to start with the score, a staggering 2 out of 10, because while the surface level shines, the foundation is crumbling. On the positive side, yes, the graphics looked decent in the pre-release trailers, and even now, the character models and the armor look good. The music is legitimately good, providing a sense of scale that the gameplay simply fails to match. And the dragon mount. Well, it was okay for the few moments the game actually lets you use it, but once you look past the lighting effects, the nightmare begins. Performance is the first hurdle. The game looks blurry regardless of your settings, a constant smear of motion that makes it feel like you are playing through a layer of grease. It is a technical failure that ruins the good graphics mentioned before. And if you decide to step off the path and head toward the coast, be prepared for a disaster. The water looks so bad, it is visually jarring compared to the rest of the world, and if you try to swim, you are dead. There is no underwater level, no diving mechanics, just an instant death barrier that feels like it belongs in a game from 20 years ago. Then we have the interface, the menu. I truly believe it was built by Satan himself. It is a labyrinth of confusing tabs and unintuitive layouts, and the controls follow the same logic. You cannot even change your controller bindings, forcing you to play the game exactly how the developers want you to, even if it feels completely unnatural. Navigating the map is equally soul-crushing.
The fog of war is tedious and lame, designed specifically to slow you down rather than encourage curiosity. The starting story was lame. A generic introduction that fails to make you care about the world. The characters are uninteresting. Blank slates that spout exposition but have no life in them. This leads directly into the quest design, which is the most soulless part of the experience.
You are forced into follow the NPC quests that feel like they were ripped straight out of a mediocre MMO. It is a chore.
Walking slowly behind a character while they talk at you, unable to speed up or deviate from their path. Progression is non-existent because the phasing sucks. You never feel like your character is actually getting stronger.
There is no real character progression that feels meaningful. The game is garbage at telling you what to do. It leaves you wandering in circles until you are forced to go to a wiki or Google just to understand basic functions. It is a massive failure in game design when a player has to leave the game to learn how to play it. The world itself feels fake, full of fake stuff like the wyvern egg that serves no purpose, or the cuckoo pot used as an upgrade material, which feels completely out of place and, quite frankly, ridiculous. Exploration is unrewarding because the abyss is worthless, a hollow experience that offers nothing of value for the time you put in. Combat should be the saving grace, but it is shallow and boring.
While the smackdown skills looked interesting in trailers, the actual execution is repetitive. The mobs are all exactly the same. You fight the same groups of enemies over and over again with no variation in strategy.
The bosses are even worse. They are gimmick bosses with maybe 3 distinct attacks, yet they can one-shot you instantly. It is not difficult. It is cheap. You cannot even lock onto targets properly, and when you encounter flying enemies, they are complete trash because the controller targeting simply doesn't work.
Even the cloud cart mount, which could have been a highlight, is still bugged and pathetic. Every movement in this game feels off. The parkour sucks. It is janky in every aspect.
A clear ripoff of better games, but executed with zero polish. When you die and revive, the game defaults you back to a sword and shield regardless of what you were using before, which is just another annoying layer of friction. Finally, we have the million restrictions that make this game feel like a job. Everything uses stamina. Everything. You are constantly managing a bar instead of having fun. Why does the dragon have a cooldown?
Why can't you summon it in towns? It is artificial padding designed to waste your time. You cannot use items from your stash to upgrade or cook. You have to manually move everything. There are no recharging healing potions. You have to go out and farm materials, wasting even more time just so you can stay alive. Even the puzzles feel like they were made for a 3-year-old.
They are chores, not challenges. Ultimately, your armor is worthless. There is no difficulty setting to adjust the experience, and the side content is just a list of chores. Crimson Desert is a game that doesn't respect your time. The performance in Crimson Desert is, quite frankly, an insult to anyone who spent $70 on a next-gen experience.
Even if you have the best hardware, the game looks blurry regardless of your settings. It feels like the resolution is constantly struggling to stay relevant, creating a smeary, ghosting effect that makes fast-paced combat a headache. And let's talk about the water, because it is one of the most pathetic things I have seen in a modern AAA title. The water looks so bad. It looks like a flat, static texture from the PlayStation 2 era. If you even touch the surface, if you try to swim, you are dead. There is no underwater level, no ability to dive, just a "you died" screen because the developers couldn't be bothered to animate a swimming mechanic. It's lazy, it's immersion breaking, and it's a sign of a game that was rushed to market. Navigation should be the heartbeat of an open-world game, but in Crimson Desert, it's a heart attack. The menu, as I said before, was built by Satan. It is cluttered, non-responsive, and counterintuitive. Finding your inventory items is a quest in itself, and then there's the map. The fog of war is tedious and lame. Usually clearing a map feels rewarding, but here it's a chore that reveals a whole lot of nothing. You have to wiki or Google everything, even the most basic functions. If your game requires a second monitor and a search engine just to explain how to cook or upgrade, you have failed as a game designer. The game is absolute garbage at telling you what to do, leaving you wandering through empty fields with no direction and no motivation. Let's talk about the actual gameplay, if you can call it that. The skills are shallow and boring. You find one or two moves that work, and you spam them until the mobs die. And the mobs, they are all the exact same. There is zero variety in enemy AI. Then you get to the bosses, which are a total joke. They are gimmick bosses with maybe 3 attacks. They aren't hard because they are smart. They are hard because they have one-shot gimmicks that feel unfair. You can't even lock on properly, making the camera your biggest enemy. When you're fighting flying enemies, the controller doesn't work half the time. The targeting is trash, and the frustration levels go through the roof. Every aspect of movement in this game is a ripoff, and it's a janky ripoff at that. The parkour sucks. It's sticky, it's unresponsive, and it's janky in every way. You'll find yourself getting stuck on small pebbles, or failing to mantle a ledge that should be easy. And the revivals? When you revive, you always default to a sword and shield. Why? If I was playing a different build, why does the game force me back to a default state? It's another example of the phasing sucking and the lack of true character progression. You don't feel like a legendary mercenary. You feel like a bugged-out puppet. The restrictions in this game are 1,000,000 miles long. Everything uses stamina: running, climbing, fighting, breathing. It's not a survival mechanic, it's a stop-having-fun mechanic. Why does the dragon have a cooldown? It's a single-player game. Why can't I summon it in towns? The dragon mount was okay, but the game treats it like a rare privilege instead of a fun tool. And the cloud cart? Still bugged, still pathetic. You need a mask just to steal a broom. The puzzles are chores made for a 3-year-old, and the side content is just a list of errands. No healing pots that recharge. You have to farm and waste time. You can't even use items from your stash to upgrade or cook. You have to manually move them like it's 1995. Everything in Crimson Desert feels like a facade, a movie set that falls over if you push it too hard. You mentioned the fake stuff, like that wyvern egg. It's a perfect metaphor for the entire experience. It looks important. It looks like it should lead to a massive quest or a unique reward. But it's just empty filler. The same goes for the cuckoo pot as an upgrade material.
It feels completely out of place, almost like a joke the developers forgot to remove. Why is a cooking pot a central part of my character's power? It's bizarre and unrewarding. And then there is the phasing, which completely sucks. You never feel like you're leaving a mark on the world. There is no sense of character progression because the game scales in a way that makes your new gear feel worthless. You spend hours farming for armor, only to realize that the armor is worthless in the face of the next gimmick boss. It's a loop of frustration that offers no dopamine, no aha moment, just more chores. The most heartbreaking part of this 2/10 experience is how much it clings to the worst parts of MMO design. The starting story was lame, and it never recovers. You are treated like a delivery boy, forced into follow the NPC quests that are the definition of soulless. These characters are uninteresting. They have no backstories that matter. No motivations that make you want to save them. The game is absolute garbage at telling you what to do, so you spend half your playtime on a wiki or Google. You shouldn't need a PhD in community forums just to understand a basic function of a $70 game. Even the puzzles feel like they were made for a 3-year-old. They aren't clever. They're just time wasters designed to pad the clock. In conclusion, Crimson Desert is a game of butts. The graphics are good, but the performance is blurry. The music is good, but the world is empty. The dragon is okay, but the cooldown makes it a chore. It is a game defined by its restrictions, the million limitations on your stamina, the lack of difficulty settings, and the janky parkour that feels like a bad rip-off of better titles. When you revive, and it defaults you back to a sword and shield. It's the final slap in the face. It shows a lack of respect for the player's choice and the player's time. Don't be fooled by the trailers. This is a 2/10 experience that you have to farm and struggle through just to see a single cool moment. Save your money, save your time, and stay away from this janky, soulless chore of a game. And that is the reality of Crimson Desert. A game that looks like a masterpiece but plays like a cautionary tale. If you're tired of being treated like a metric to be optimized, if you're done with $70 games that feel like unpaid labor, then you're in the right place. I'm Alexa Soto, and I'll always give it to you straight, without the hype, and without the padding. If you appreciated this deep dive into why this game is a 2 out of 10, do me a favor and hit that like button. It has a 0-second cooldown, and it helps me keep these honest reviews coming. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more technical breakdowns and unfiltered critiques. I'm not here to sell you the dream. I'm here to show you the jank. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening to the rant. And I'll see you in the next one, where hopefully we find something actually worth playing. This has been Alexa Soto, signing off.